Well, greetings everyone and welcome to Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. I am your humble host, Kevin Reed, and we have reached the end of February, and already we can start saying this year has flown by. I mean, we're already 2 months into this year, and man, it is, you blinked and you missed it. And quite honestly, the movie studios have been kind of hesitant with their releases. We haven't had much. We haven't had any real blockbusters up to this point, with the exception of maybe Uncharted, which came out last week. Other than that, it's been kind of dry, but we can see if we look ahead on our calendars that all that's about to change momentarily. So today's episode, instead of previewing what's coming out this weekend, which is absolutely nothing, we're going to review 2 films that came out just this past week. And, well, we'll touch in on one thing that is coming out this weekend. Actually, is coming out today. And it's not a movie. It is actually an animated television show, which I am super excited that it is returning. And it's one of those shows that if you watched it, you know, back in 2001, and I think it was 2001 to, I think it only lasted, 45 years? Something like that. 4 or 5. I said 45. 4 or 5 years. But it was like, man, this is a great show. And when it ended, it was like, why did you end this show? This was gold. And that show is The Proud Family. And it was so relevant around that time. It is relevant now. Even if you go back and watch the old episodes on Disney Plus, it is still a good show. It still holds up. Now, with the new streaming wave, Disney Plus has decided, you know what? We're going to revisit a couple of things. We're going to revisit our, old popular shows and old popular movies. Pretty much recycling, not just Disney Plus, all Hollywood studios and television production companies. There's pretty much been reboots and rehashing and coming back, throwbacks, and nothing's original these days because everything has been done to death. All you can do is just add on to what's already been done, which is fine. But you like to see a little originality every now and then. But I'm glad this is coming back. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. It's an upcoming American animated television series created by Bruce W. Smith, which is set to premiere on Disney Plus. Wait, we don't have to wait till this weekend. It premieres February the 23rd. Yes, today. At the time of this release, it is on Disney Plus. It is the revival of The Proud Family, which originally aired on the Disney Channel from 2001 to 2005. Man, it don't seem like it was that long ago. And I used to watch this. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was about to blame my kids. I was gonna say, yeah, I used to watch this with my girls. No, I was watching. They came along for the ride, but I was watching it for myself. I can't lie. I liked the show because it was something different. It's something new. It is based on a African American family or black family, and it was just one of those shows that clicked, and I loved it. And everybody I know who has watched it loved it, and it was funny. It was relevant. Everything you need, everything you need in an animated show, for kids, mind you, but adults can enjoy it as well, which I did. I enjoyed it. And so, to hear that it was coming back, was like a breath of fresh air. But the premise is, the series follows the story of Penny Proud, a 14-year-old girl, and her family as they try to navigate their lives in the 2020s. Trudy, Penny's mother, has a new career high, whereas Oscar, Penny's dad, has wild dreams, and Penny faces a numerous challenges when her sugar mama returns, as does Michael, Dejanay, Zoe, and La Cienega. New kids, Maya and KG, who are raised by two dads, try to adapt to life in Smithville. This is to add to the excitement of it. All the cast is returned. All the voice actors who provided the voice in the original have returned. I think with the exception of Sugar Mama, I believe, because I think she passed away. I'm guessing. I'm thinking. I could be wrong. Actually, I think I am wrong. Yes, I know I'm wrong. I had to look at it real quick. I didn't want to wish death on the lady. But I think everybody is returning. I think somebody did pass away. I can't remember who. But but the vast majority is returning. So that is exciting to hear. And to add this new twist with the two dads and stuff, I knew that was coming. Now, whether you agree with it or not, that's where we at these days. You're going to have to adapt, learn to adapt. Times are changing. So, which is cool. I think there's a nice little spin to it, and that should be interesting. So, I'm excited for the Proud family. Yes, this 40-something-year-old man is over the moon excited for an animated show on Disney Plus. Yes. There you go. I can hear y'all through the screen now. I hear you, but I don't care. I'm watching it. But yes, the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, is now currently available on Disney Plus. All right, that's our can't wait. So let's jump into our reviews. We have two reviews that I decided to do. I don't know how to go about doing this. Here's the issue I'm having. I saw both of these films this weekend. One I enjoyed. One I questioned humanity. I really questioned why anybody in their right mind not only participated in the making of this film, but greenlit this film and thought it was a good idea to put this film out so the masses can see. Let's start with that one. Let's get this one out the way. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is currently available on Netflix, is the worst movie I have ever seen in a while. I'm not gonna say ever, because you're talking to a guy who actually sat in the theater and watched Battlefield Earth. I actually paid money to watch Battlefield Earth. You're talking to a guy who actually sat in the theater, paid money, sat 3/4 of the movie, and watched Torque. I actually walked out in the last 5 minutes. Now, I felt bad. And the reason I felt bad walking out that movie, because I didn't leave sooner. I'm saying I might as well. If I only had 5 minutes, I didn't know I only had 5 minutes left, but I just could not take it anymore. That movie was so bad. I mean, from the word go, that movie was pathetic. It is the worst movie I have ever seen. The worst movie I have ever seen. And I've seen some bad movies. Like I said, Battlefield Earth. Compared to Battlefield, compared to Torque, Battlefield Earth is Oscar worthy. That's how bad Torque is. And I know I promised this in the past because this ain't the first time I've brought up Torque. But I promise you, one day, when I build up enough courage, when I get my gag reflex under control, I will do a episode on Torque. But I'm going on this long tangent. The reason I'm going on this tangent, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is right up there with that. It is so bad. First and foremost, if the only recognizable actor in this movie is Jacob Lattimore, you have a problem. There's no stars in it. Now, a movie don't need stars in order for it to be a success. All right, I'm completely understanding of that. I know that is actual and factual. But this movie needed somebody to take this material, if you want to call it material, take this and try to bring it to another level to whereas it was watchable. The actors who are in this movie, and I'm not the type of person to poo-poo on people's acting. You know, I know these people got a job. This is their livelihood. In most cases, they do give it their best shot. They just didn't have much to work with. But man, you can see on these actors' faces that they did not want to be there. They knew that they just signed up for a horrible movie that is not going to help their careers at all. Now, if you love gore, this is the movie for you. This is the bloodiest Texas Chainsaw Massacre I've ever seen. Because a lot of misconception about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. People think that is this gory, bloody, just disgustingly violent movie. Now, and I'm talking about the original. I'm talking about the 1974 original. If you ever go back and watch that film, there's not an ounce of blood in that movie. There's no gore. It's just it's just implied. The movie lets your imagination fill in the gaps, which is the type of movie I like. You know, you don't have to show me everything. You know, that the idea of not seeing it frightens me enough. You know, that's the art of storytelling. That is real good filmmaking. That I don't have to put it in crayon and spell it out for you so you can get it. You know, I don't need to see somebody's face halfway ripped off, or in this film's case, actually cut off and placed on their face to wear as a mask. I don't care if COVID is out here or not. This movie was so gory. And you're talking to a horror fan. I love horror movies. Gore has its place. Blood has its place. Violence have its place in order to tell the story, if it helps the story move along. I can't stand gratuitous, I can't even get it out, and too much gore. Okay, it's too much. It was just done for the sake. Oh, we have a budget. We can just throw blood over here, you know, or just gushing blood out of here, or take the chainsaw and rip somebody in half, cut somebody in half. It is horrible. It is horrible. And yes, it's spoilers because I don't care. Who wants to watch this movie? You're not spoiling nothing. This movie is dumb. Look, Leatherface is not supernatural. Leatherface is not a superhuman, a demon from hell. That's not Leatherface. Evil, yeah, he's evil. Of course, he got to be evil. He cut people's faces off. So yeah, he's evil. But at the same time, he's not an unstoppable, bulletproof killing machine. Leatherface in this movie got shot at least 30 times. And I'm talking at close range with a shotgun. He was stabbed multiple times with a machete. His face was sliced with a chainsaw. He drowned. He kept coming. He kept coming. He got hit by a car multiple times. He kept coming. I mean, after a while, Jason Voorhees is going to tap out. He'll jump back in Crystal Lake after all that. But no. Not Leatherface. And this movie made no sense. None whatsoever. I had never sat down and been more frustrated with a movie. I can't. It had to be Torque. It had to be Torque. It was the last time I felt this amount of anger towards a movie. Now, it was on Netflix. I was playing with house money, but it was still frustrating to the point I wanted to email Netflix and ask for my money back. That's how bad it was. My grade for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can you guess? Yeah, F. It gets an F. Then the ending. The ending was so horrible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, currently on Netflix, gets an F. Enter at your own risk, people. If you haven't seen it, you're blessed. You're blessed because from now on, until I take my last breath on earth, I have to live with the fact that I actually witnessed this monstrosity. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't understand. The movie made no sense. The movie, nothing about this movie made sense. It's frustrating. Anyways, let's end on a good note. Let's end on an actual good note. This next film that we're about to review is a film that, quite honestly, I went in tempering my expectations because I'm a big fan of the property. The film we're reviewing is Uncharted, which came out this past Friday. I am a gigantic Uncharted video game fan. If you heard previous episodes, you know I own each and every one of the video games. Love them to death. Have played each one multiple times. I own part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and I own the deluxe edition, which contains all 4. I have it all. That's how much I love it. Love it. Bought a PlayStation 4 just for that game because it's not available on Xbox or anything else. I love Uncharted. Love the character of Nathan Drake, Sully, Elena, Chloe, all of them. I love it all. So the fact that they finally got around to making this film that they have been teasing us with for years. At one point, Mark Wahlberg was cast as Nathan Drake, which had me hot as fish grease, but I was willing to roll with it. That got delayed. He finally dropped out. Felt he was too old for the role. Cool. Which he really wasn't. At this point, he really could have played Nathan Drake. But they decided to go with Tom Holland. Much younger Nathan Drake than in the video games. But I was willing to accept it. Me being a big fan of Tom Holland, I'll bite. Let's see how this goes. I enjoyed this film. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not upset with it at all. I've seen and read a lot of reviews from a lot of fans, a lot of people who haven't even played the games, and you could tell how the needle moves with those people. For most fans of the video games, they didn't like it. They felt it was a betrayal of the of the actual game. Those who didn't play the games, it just went into it with fresh eyes. They enjoyed it. You know, it didn't set the world on fire, but they enjoyed it. Me being, I would argue, I would go to battle with anybody who claims to be the biggest Uncharted fan. I will fight you to the death for that title, because I am the biggest Uncharted fan. And I enjoyed the movie. And the reason I enjoyed it, I didn't look at it as an adaptation of Drake's Fortune. I didn't look at it as an adaptation of Among Thieves or Drake's Deception. You know, I didn't look at it like, or Part 4. I looked at it as a prequel to all those games. I looked at it as a setup before we even got to those games. This is something of a prequel, which it was. And when I went in with that mindset, I enjoyed it even more. I wasn't looking for the game, because if you ever played the game is cinematic in its own right. It's really, they're their own movies. You know, you play it, you get past a certain level, and then it goes into a cinematic mode where the story plays out and everything. It's like a movie. And that's why those who are fans of the game enjoyed the game. So interpreting it into film in that matter, now that would have been more of a travesty to me, you know, because I could see that when I played the game. I didn't have to spend my $10-12 to go see the movie when I could have just played the game at home. But this didn't do that. It did things differently. Now, they did take from certain elements of the game. I'm not going to spoil this movie because I'm it's fresh, it's new, and it's actually enjoyable. I didn't mind spoiling Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I really didn't spoil it. Really nothing to talk about that movie. Let me stop, because I felt myself going down that road again. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil Uncharted, but Uncharted really did a good job of setting these characters up. I did have problems with it. It's not a perfect film by no stretch of the imagination. Now, the parts that did bother me as a fan of the game was the relationship between Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan. And I thought that was done kind of Hollywoodish. You know, they had to have a rip between each other. They didn't quite get along. They didn't trust each other. In the video games, man, Sully would die for Drake. Literally. He almost died for Drake. He took a bullet for Drake in the game. You know, he would do anything for Drake. He looked at Drake as a son. He loved Nathan Drake. And we didn't get that in this movie. At the end, once we got to the end, you saw that was starting to come around. But it took a while for it to get there. And it took me a while to kind of look past their relationship in the film. Because in the games, their relationship is so father and sonish. And it's actually a beautiful friendship, relationship that they have. But it wasn't in this movie. And once again, you have to remind yourself, this is an origin. All right. The other thing I didn't really like, it was kind of quick. The movie was it moved pretty fast. They discovered clues and got to different locations so quickly throughout the film. It was like, this is easy. You know, it felt like it was a couple of days until they found this treasure. But, you know, because in the games, it's much tougher. I guess because it's the game and you're playing it. But it's much tougher. They have to go through more tasks to get to where they were going. Now, don't get me wrong. I love that they did honor the game by, when they did get to a certain clue, they had to figure out how to get past it and stuff. That's the game. They did that perfectly. The artifact that they find, the journal, that's part of the games. I mean everything. I mean the little Easter eggs. They got Easter eggs aplenty throughout this movie that I felt it kept. They made this movie its own, but it also they stay true to the core of Uncharted, in my opinion. I really don't see where people are upset. As far as fans of the video game who are upset with this movie, I don't see what they're looking at. I honestly don't. And I tried to look at it both ways, but I don't see it. I really felt that this movie did a good job. Is it perfect? No, but it did a good job. In the ranking of video game movie adaptations, this is number one. It is, well, I'll give it 1B. 1A is Sonic the Hedgehog. That was pretty good. But this is 1B in my opinion. I think this is a real good adaptation of the video game. It didn't just go away from the, just did something completely different from its source material. It took elements from the game. Now it took elements from part 3 and part 4. Maybe even a little bit of 2. It didn't touch part 1, but it really did heavily on 3 and 4, which was, if you played the video games, it had prequel elements in the games. So I can see where they did that, why they did that, and why they took from that story. Once again, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time, man. I mean, it was, like I said, it's not it's not going to pop up in award season by no stretch of the imagination, but it is a real good time in the theater. The action set pieces are awesome. The cargo plane scene was awesome. That was taken from the game. What else? The final battle at the end with the pirate ships, amazing. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, these were some awesome battles. Awesome set pieces. And Mark Wahlberg, I must say, as much as I criticize him for being the same person in every movie, which it was elements of that here, but he really, it was kind of a different role for him. I can honestly say I enjoyed him, even though I didn't enjoy the relationship that him and Tom Holland's Nathan Drake had in the film. I did like his. It wasn't a hateable character, even though you couldn't trust him at times. He wasn't a character that you hated, and that's good. That's great. Now Chloe, that was a hard pill to swallow, because I like her character from the games, but I didn't really care for her character in this film. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like it either. So it was kind of middle of the pack. But once again, it is a prequel, because if you play the games, when they meet up in part 2, I believe, in part 2, when she's introduced, she do mention about them meeting in the past and they left her behind and blah blah blah. That's kind of told in this movie, so it all works itself out. But anyways, my grade for Uncharted, quite honestly, I gotta give Uncharted a B-. It is a good movie, great movie, good time in the theater. It is short, so it's nothing that you have to sit and stomach through, a 2.5 hour adventure film. But no. It is real good. When it starts to feel like it's heading down boring territory, action sequence. Then you get into a story and it starts to feel like it's about to drag, action sequence. So it was perfectly timed, good tone, good pace. Enjoyed every minute of it. Yes, Uncharted gets a B-. So I hope you guys check those out. Not Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but you can check out The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, which is on Disney Plus. And if you haven't checked it out this past weekend, go check out Uncharted in theaters. Now's the weekend to do it because there's nothing else out. And then next weekend, it's over. It's over for everything. Everything that's in the theaters is over because next weekend, you already know what's coming out. I'm not even going to say it because that'll get me in my feelings and I'll go crazy and that'll turn into a whole nother show. So, and we're going to save that till next week for I can't wait. So, yeah, go check them out. And if you are just curious, desperate, if you like dumb stuff, if you like stuff that just makes no sense and you want to sit there for an hour and a half to 2 hours with your mouth wide open in disbelief of how is this a thing? Sure, go ahead. Go over to Netflix and check out Texas. I can't even get it out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because it is a massacre. It is a massacre to your senses. And I'm not even in Texas. And didn't need a chainsaw. All I need to do is watch that. That is a massacre. I think if you want to torture war criminals in Guantanamo Bay, make them watch this movie. They'll tell you everything you need to know. The first 48, just put this on repeat in the interrogation room. They're going to start squealing like a pig. I'm telling you, bro. This movie is horrible. Whew. Uncharted was great. Uncharted was compared to that, it was great in the words of Tony the Tiger. Yeah, this movie was horrible, man. I can't believe they made that movie. And I'm not a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan like that, but man, this was horrible. Oh my goodness. Those are 2 hours I can't get back. That is gone, people. I can't get that back. And I'm getting to the age now, man. Minutes count. Minutes count. I need all my minutes. Oh, man. Anywho's, everybody, hope you enjoyed the show. If you're checking us out on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. Don't forget to follow the show if you're listening to us on Spotify and our other listening platforms. Don't forget to share the show with your family and your friends on your social media platforms. And while you're on those social media platforms, don't forget to look up the KB Radio Podcast on all social media outlets. Everyone, it has been an honor, privilege, and joy to talk to you today. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is preparing, at least down here in New Orleans, preparing for Mardi Gras, getting ready to catch some beads and doubloons and coconuts. I'm not going to any parade. I don't do parades. I'm done. That's tourist stuff. I'm not into the parades thing, but I'm happily going to take those days off of work. So everybody, I hope you have a safe and happy Mardi Gras, along with the rest of this Black History Month, everybody, because that's still around and out and about. So I want you all to know I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, I want you all to be blessed.